Now this is a very common one. What all I do is, in this functional equation I replace x by 1 by x. Then I will have it as a into f of 1 by x plus b into f of x is equal to 1 by x minus 1. Now the given relation I write here. The given relation is b into f of 1 by x plus a into f of x is equal to x minus 1. Now you see this as p and this as q and solve for the values of p and q. Actually it is enough if I solve only for f of x here. Now for that what I do is, like the way we used to do in 9th and 9th classes, I multiply this equation by, I'm going to cancel f of 1 by x there. So I multiply the first equation by b, the second equation by a, then I subtract one from the other. So if I do that, on the left hand side I'll get b square minus a square into f of x is equal to b by x minus b minus ax plus a again. Now you can write f of x from this, and then from that you have to write f of 2. That means in the place of x you need to write 2, and you can do that, and then you can see that it is not matching with any of the options. Therefore the answer is option D. For this problem, let's first study the behavior of sin pi x close to an integer. I want you to observe that if x is an integer, then sin pi x will be n pi. Now sin n pi, we know that the angle n pi either it ends here or it ends here. Like for example, if n is 10, then 10 pi will end here. Or if n is minus 11, then minus 11 pi will end here. So basically, if it is an odd multiple of pi, it ends here. Even multiple of pi, it ends here. Now I want you to observe that if you are close to n pi, say you are here, okay, assuming n is even, then sin n pi, if you are to the right of n pi, then sin will be positive. If you are to the left of n pi, then you will be here. That means in the fourth quadrant sin will be negative. So basically one side of n pi it is positive and another side it is negative. Suppose n is odd, say you are here, then if you are here and if you are to the right of n pi, say this side you are, then you know that in this quadrant sign is negative. If you are to the left of n pi, you will be here, and then you can see that in the second quadrant sign is negative. So whether n is positive or negative, n is even or odd, at n pi, one side sin n pi is positive and other side not sin n pi, exactly sin pi x. When x is close to n, then pi x will be close to pi n or n pi. So if you are to the right of this, that means to the right of n pi, if sin pi x takes a positive value, then the other side it will take negative value, irrespective of the parity of n, that is whether n is even or odd. So you can see that here, if I am close to an integer, that means if x is close to an integer, then to the right of n, sin pi x positive, then when you are to the left of n, sin pi x will be negative. That is what we observed so far. Now you can see that I am talking about the f of x value just to the left of n. You can see that it will be limit t tends to infinity something power t. Now this value is, as this is negative, this value is going to be less than 1, minus 1 by a quantity, again the same quantity which is less than 1 power t plus 1. Now you can see that as t tends to infinity, this part goes to 0, this part goes to 0, therefore the limit will be minus 1. And if it is, when it is positive, if I calculate f of x there, it is going to be limit t tends to infinity, you will have a quantity more than 1 power t minus 1 by again quantity more than 1 power t plus 1. Now as t tends to infinity, you know that this quantity tends to infinity, this quantity tends to infinity, and the degrees are the same. And then we know that the limit is nothing but its coefficient by its coefficient, which is going to be 1 there. So f of x on the right of, when you are to the right of n, fx value is going to be 1, and to the left of n, fx value is going to be minus 1. So you can see that the f is not continuous at any integral value. Therefore, the answer is option B. Now for this problem, let's first look at the domain of the function. For this to be defined, I want the inside quantity to be greater than or equal to 0. 1 minus e power minus x square greater than or equal to 0 if and only if 1 is greater than or equal to e power minus x square. Now this one I can write e power 0. We know that it is an increasing function, so I need 0 greater than or equal to minus x square, which is always true. Therefore, the domain is nothing but R. That is the domain of f of x. Now we want the points where the function is differentiable. Now we know that 1 minus e power minus x square is differentiable everywhere. No problem with that. Now root x, it is differentiable over the domain where this is not equal to 0. We know that the domain of root x is R plus union 0. Okay, and from in the domain it is not differentiable only at one point, namely 0, because its derivative at all other points 1 by 2 root x, obviously it is not defined at x equal to 0. So the only point where I need to check for the non-differentiability of the function, if at all, is the points where the quantity inside of that becomes 0. So you can see that it is going to be 1 minus e power minus x square is equal to 0. Where is it equal to 0? That is what I am checking. Now this is if and only if e power minus x square is equal to 1, which is e power 0, that means minus x square is 0, that means x is equal to 0. Now it is easy to check that actually at x equal to 0 the function is not differentiable. You can simply apply the definition, first principles, to verify that the function is not differentiable at x equal to 0. Therefore the answer is nothing but option C. In this problem, if I call this point as P, I want you to observe that if I give x is equal to t, then y coordinate is going to be t square minus t cube as he has given. Okay, now I have a curve like this, y equal to x square minus x cube. Now say we are taking tangent at a point to the curve over here, and the tangent at P is again intersecting the curve at a point Q. We have to find the x coordinate of Q. That's what we have to find. Now for this, what I do is first I will find equation to the tangent at P, then I solve the tangent and curve equation. So for that, to find equation to the tangent at P, I am going to differentiate this. So differentiating, I'll have dy by dx is equal to 2x minus 3x square. So dy by dx at P. So in the place of x I have to take t. I'll get 2t minus 3t square. That is at P. Now I am writing equation to the tangent at P, which is nothing but 2t minus 3t square into x minus y is equal to 2t minus 3t square into x is t minus t square plus t cube. Simplifying, what am I having here? I have 2t minus 3t square into x. Bringing everything this side, I'll have it as, that is minus 3t cube plus t cube, that will be minus 2t cube. 2t square, that will be minus t square is equal to y I get. So this is the tangent equation. Now I solve this tangent equation and this curve equation. So equating, I am having 2t minus 3t square into x plus 2t cube minus t square is equal to x square minus x cube I am having, or writing everything one side I have it as x cube minus x square plus 2t minus 3t square into x plus 2t cube minus t square is equal to 0 I get. Now we know that it is difficult to solve a cubic equation, but I want you to observe that here luckily we know that here x coordinate is t, so t is a common point to tangent and the curve, so obviously this equation is satisfied by t. So one root is nothing but t. Actually, as it is a tangent, you will have t as a double root. Okay, now you know synthetic division and all that, you know how to extract a root from it. So extracting that or observing that the roots are nothing but t, and the third root which I don't know, call it as alpha. I have sum of the roots is equal to 1 here. Therefore, I should have t plus alpha is equal to 1, or the third root alpha is nothing but 1 minus 2t. Therefore, x is nothing but t comma t or 1 minus 2t. Now these correspond to p, therefore this is the x coordinate of q. Therefore option B is the answer. Now this is a very simple one. You just find at the point 1 comma 1 slope of the tangent to this, let's see m1 and m2 you call, apply tan theta equal to m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1 m2 to get the angle. Actually once you observe that m1 and m2 equal to minus 1, you can say that the answer is nothing but pi by 2.